Hi, how are you?
I haven't been sued by last week's night by John already.
You haven't been.
No, I just kind of want to see some seas letter. They've got fun. William Shatner's going to space today.
I know.
Right now. Captain Kirk in space.
As long as he doesn't transport himself back down to Earth, it'll be all right.
My Chiefs are making me grumpy. Hockey starting. That's it, man. Cool.
There's 3 games today.
3 games today. Cool. All right, everybody. How we doing? Hey, Naomi, keep it quiet back there. Oh, selfie time. Look at you guys. How are we doing live, people? That sucked. How are we doing live, people? I can't sit down. I'm not on camera, right? I don't have to sit down there. So, like social thing, we got to go back to spacing, and no one really wants to be 6 feet behind you anyway, so we're fine. And the microphone, we need to stay by the microphone. So if you have questions, you need to come up to the front of the room, like you're in trouble with the principal or you're at a seminar or something, and speak to the microphone. No jokes there. All right, family show. All right, so here's where we go. So we're not going to talk about COVID. Now we're going to talk about COVID a little bit. Wow, we're not going to talk about the fact that everybody's got to wear a freaking mask now. And we're not going to talk about the soup, no soup, some soup, no soup for you. We're not going to talk about the border being closed. Yes, we are going to talk about the border being closed because today they announced that I can finally go get all my packages from Gord. That's Gord. You see Gord? That's actually the guy who runs my package facility in Blaine. His name's Gord. No one's seen Gord for about 1.5 years because he's been buried underneath packages. So yeah, Gord. Gord does a great job. He's from Winnipeg, actually. Figure that. Yeah. Blaine to Winnipeg. We do have some Surrey office news for those who missed it. We are swapping out Surrey ownership to the Surrey ownership group under the auspice of Mr. Rene Sandu. I gotta come clean. So I was searching for a picture of Rene, and I challenge you to do the same thing and just do images of Rene, and the one that looks like he's in his 20s, making questionable decisions about his music career. Click on that link, and it's worth a listen. So anyway, just saying. I honestly wasn't gonna say anything because it could be embarrassing when your rap career didn't take off. All right, winter is coming. We are in Q4, right? Yes, we are in Q4. You're officially in Q4. So planning for next year is critical. Little quote. By the way, I tried to find a sound clip for Gordon Ramsay that you could play in a group setting. No. He swears more than my mom does. So I don't like looking back. I'm always constantly looking forward. I'm not the one to sort of sit and cry over spilled milk. I'm too busy looking for the next cow. So how are your listening appointments going? I have to ask Krista because she does 9 a day. So that's all right. And that comes down to this year. Yes, I know I showed this last month, and I think I showed it the month before, and probably every office meeting we do. But the cascade effect, if you want to make more money, starts with listings taken, which starts with listing appointments.
Sorry,
Or buyers. Who's on mute? I'm not on mute. Hello, video people. You can't see me. It's the perfect dream. No one can see my face. I miss conference calls. I said, by the way, I hate having to drive from point A to point B to get to a video call so that people can stare at my face. I just miss conference calls. You can dial in from wherever, doing whatever. Good old day. Starts with listings taken. So how are your listings taken? What are you doing to ramp up your business between now and the end of the year so you don't have the January fall-offs? Christmas will happen this year, apparently. It's around December 25th. Stand by. Listings taken. Go get it. If you want to know how, ask Krista. Right? And figure out what you want to do next year. This is the 135. Showed this last week too. So really simple. What's the vision for your business for 2022? What are the 3 goals that you want around that business? I would say that maybe the 3 categories that work are leads, listings, and leverage. Because that guy with the mustache wrote a book. Leads, listings, and leverage. And then what are your 5 strategies around that? Are you going to become an educator? Are you going to run first home buyer seminar? Are you going to start door knocking? Are you actually going to pick up the phone and lead generate for a change? Something like that. Yeah. Stuff like that. Do you need to hire an assistant? Colin, good job. Colin hired an assistant, everybody. You should say hi. Hi. Masks. Yay, masks. So yeah, one vision for your business, 3 goals to support the vision, and 5 strategies to support the goals. Instead of making it up, I could have just read off my own slide. Oh, cool. This is a very, very useful and very, very simple tool to do. If you want to know how to use it, ask Mel, because she's got to do it right now. Great. All right. So here are the opportunities for you to ramp up your business. We have several educational opportunities. Goal setting class, Thursday, October 28th from 10 to 11:30 in this room. I guess we'll do it digitally too. It'll be with me. And we'll run through goal setting, smart goal setting, and making sure you know where your strategy goes. It's doing math. Figure out how much money you want to make next year, and then we work that back to the bite-sized chunks of the activity that drives the revenue. It ain't rocket science. And yet, you work in a 95.5% industry, and that's not the good way. That means 5% of the real estate agents are making 95% of the cash. Ran the math. So there's opportunity out there. Just saying. Hey, Brad. So goal setting class on Thursday. ALC clinic. You have to be invited to this. If you're in the top 20% of our agent base, you're going to get an invite from me. The ALC clinic, whether you plan on being part of the ALC, which I highly recommend, it's kind of fun, kind of interesting. Generally, they just pick on me for an hour and a half a month. Great opportunity for you to get an idea of advanced leadership. So if you're on the invite list, attend. Usually we have to fly to, as Region keeps saying, a Holiday Inn in Vaughan, Ontario, which is not the happiest place on earth. And it costs, hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is free. So everybody can attend this here, which is pretty cool. All right. But yeah, you got to be invited. And then on November the 4th, Gene Rivers, has anybody attended a class with Gene Rivers? He's funnier than me.
Yes.
Doesn't take much, but he's funnier than me. This is free. If you're in the United States of America, it's going to cost you $49 US, which is like $9,000 Canadian. It is free to attend. I don't know if the bandwidth is limited. It's digital. Log on and register. We will send out the link today. Somebody remind me. Perfect. There we go. Yeah, Gene is a phenomenal coach and teacher. Business planning, if you haven't ever attended it before, if you've never attended business planning before, awesome practical knowledge and application on how to set up your business and move forward. Okay. Cool. So everybody should register. If you're not registered, I will hunt you down. It's free. No excuse. And it's usually like 9 days long, and it's 1 day this time. So that's cool. All right. And so we sent out a little survey. But first we sent it out accidentally, and then we sent it out again. But we asked 4 questions. What do you want to work in your business? Luxury, commercial. The last one, number 4, was lead generation. What do you think the most popular response was? People want to work in their business next year is
Lead gen.
Shocking lead generation. So we're going to do some stuff. Does anybody know what a reverse bold is? Does anybody know what a bold 100 is? First, go.
Well, I know from the bold.
Does he still cry about them? Does he still end up in a corner in a fetal position? Like, bold. Yeah. It's intense. All right, you don't have to wait anymore.
Yeah.
We're going to forget actual bold and just go straight to the bold 100. So if you've who's taken bold before? Who's done a bold 100 before? Mark, tell us what it is and how awesome it is.
100 contacts in 1 day of those gross.
100. We changed some of the rules on that. Doesn't have to be text to text. It has to be direct communication, though, right? Yeah, so you can't just like 100 people on Facebook to qualify. But we are going to lock ourselves in a room or in a room somewhere on the planet because we live in the world of Zoom on Saturday, November 6th. Why do we do it on a Saturday?
People are home.
People are home. They're happy and they want to talk to me. That's right on the bold. So bold 100. This is a reverse bold 100. So somewhere along the line, people got smart or they got lazy, or they got smart and lazy. I call it effectively lazy, right? So instead of picking up the phone and dialing for dollars to call 500 people to get 100 contacts, why not preempt it and get them to call you instead? So what you do is you offer a prize. In this case, the office is going to supply Spa Utopia gift certificates because they're available everywhere. They're kind of cool. We asked our ALC and they said we want X. Nobody wants an iPad. Nobody wants an iPad. They just want stuff to do things. So we're going to do this Spa Utopia. It's everywhere. So they are going to contact you to be entered in a draw. And then what's your script when they phone you to be entered in the draw? I'm not a real estate agent. Let me do it. Okay. Hey, thanks for calling. Cool. Yeah, we'll get you in there. Hey, while I got you on the phone, what's going on in your real estate world? You looking at investing, looking at selling, looking at buying? No? Cool. Do you know anybody who is? Just love to keep me in mind. Fantastic. Awesome. Going to make sure you get in the draw. I'll let you know who wins. I'll call you in a couple of days and we'll follow up. Cool. Thanks. Have a nice day. Bye. Do that 100 times. Right? So how would you get people to call you? What are the opportunities for you? Interactive portion. I know you're wearing masks. I can't see your faces. Jen's got her tongue sticking out of you right now. But she's what are some of the ways you can get people to reach out to you?
Facebook marketing.
Facebook marketing. Right there. We're going to do some of that for you too. Database. Email your database. When was the last time you talked to your database going into Christmas, right? Does anybody want to give away a spot? You're doing their Christmas shopping for them. They can give mom or significant other a spa day, right? We're going to have some prizes for you guys too. So we'll do some spot dances. We'll do some spot prizes throughout the day. Whoever's got 10 contacts, whoever's got what, we'll do a magic number and we'll give you guys some stuff to keep it fun. You can either attend live in any of our training centers. You can be here. You can even go to Coquitlam if you want to. We got a cool little area there. Live in any of the rooms if you want that mojo of hanging around in the same room and watching people not pick up the phone. It's not just you. It's always fun. Every time we do bold calls in bold, there's always that moment where it's like, all right, everybody pick up the phone and start dialing. And everybody does this. I need a prompt. Everybody does this. And then somebody else calls you. You know what's fun is when I'm your team leader and I'm in the room with you and I see you not on the phone, I will call you from across the room. It's really embarrassing. I talk loud. So anyway. So yeah, participate. This is a great opportunity to kick yourself in the butt, ramp up and get some business done. All right? And it's free. All right, some stats. Because we're early in the month, I don't have updated comparisons, but we have the stats for us here. So I'll send out a stat package with how we sit in the industry. So here's the numbers. It's been a busy year. We are seeing, did you notice that we kind of front loaded the year as far as business goes? Yeah, so October slowed down a bit. Like, is anybody tired in October? Aaron's like, yeah. Have you met Josh? No, he's joking, Josh. Just joking, Josh. We love you. All right. Assuming he's on there. Hope he's on. So yeah, people got tired in October. Your clients got tired in October too, right? So it's starting to ramp back up again, but there's a little bit of a hangover going on. Our agent count is up 5%. We're sitting at 343 happy little agents. Closed units. So the numbers at the end are the year-to-date numbers. If there is an asterisk, sorry, listing stake, it should have an asterisk. Actually, they should all have asterisks. We have already surpassed last year's numbers. And that's set an all-time record, obviously. We surpassed last year. So closed units, 3,348 closed units year to date, up 65% year over year. Closed sales volume, 79% over $2 bajillion in closed volume. 339 listings taken, up 63%. So these are the indicators. The listings taken and the contracts written as far as the business that's coming, right? So that tells us that November, December, and January, because your clients close within 30, 60, 90 days, right, are going to get busy because you're taking more listings and you're writing more contracts, right? We would like people who aren't transacting in real estate at the top of their game to sell more because the only things that are down are owner profit share, which tells us that more revenue is coming from people who have capped, which this year more people have capped than ever before as well. So it's a good news story for you guys. So you're all freeloaders. Good news is we like that. Probably. All right, any questions on the numbers? Numbers are exciting, right? Look at the gross commission. That's year to date. $37 million in gross commission. $4.2 million in gross commission paid out last month. That's crazy. Good job. This is where we sat as of last month. Again, I don't have the updated numbers, but we're still a solid number 2 in the Lower Mainland for our catch area. We don't, yeah, go forth and sell those. So congratulations. We have some new people who joined us. I put you guys in last month too, but I should have. You're in last month. So anybody? So we're still growing. Ryland. There you go. Welcome, everybody. You need to add assistants in there too, because you go through more crap than we ever do. Just saying.
Crazy.
Safety word. Cinnamon. Safety word is always cinnamon.
Oh.
I was talking to you, Gina. Yeah, we know. But we talk. All right, and a few cappers. So yeah, we're averaging about 25 cappers per month. Usually we go about 10. So these are people who are keeping 100% of their revenue because we don't have a deal for your transaction fee back. So good guy. So congratulations, everybody. And the home run club, 70 people, including Wolfie. Wolfie somehow got missed out last month, so Wolfie's in here this month. So when you see Wolfie, say, hey, congratulations on the home run deal. It's nice that people pay attention. It's good. I want to know if you think you should be on something and you're not on something, let me know. So yeah, this is, again, my favorite slide because it means you're doing the things that are going to drive revenue in your business, which makes your family happy because they all eventually want to go to Disneyland when the border opens. Do you think we're actually going to be able to go get our packages, or are we going to have to go get a $1,000 test to go across and pick up our packages? I know. Did they say we have to get tested? I didn't actually read it. I was reading the details.
I was presenting because accepted now, which is great.
What's that?
Double back to get down.
Yeah.
But to get back into Canada, you need to test. So in Canada, that's requiring the testing to get back home. But the state doesn't care if you're tested, you just have to double back to get there.
Come on down. Okay. I wonder if I can get my test from Gord at the package place.
I'm going back to the Silver Reef Casino, baby.
You just got to win enough to cover the cost of your test coming back. All right. Good job. All right. Elite Awards for September listings taken. Congratulations to, we have Lynn Bradshaw, Logan Eskison, Renee Sandu, Mandy Mann, and Gary Leisha. And then on the team side, you guys, it's the Lap Real Estate Group. Just over and over again, it's the Lap Real Estate Group. Congratulations. Now we got the Bastion Group in there. The Thornton Group did okay. Sunny Bar Associates. And then we've got on the group side, the Diversity Group. Oh, good job. The Kelly Fry Group, the Government Team, and Partners Market Group, and Bell McNabb, the most branded company on the planet. Listing sold volume. Elvin Tom, Young Tom Harvey, JP, Ron Cosio, and Cam Tor on the individual side. Same group. Same group. Congratulations. You guys can applaud. Please applaud. I'm really bored. All right, we're going to ram through this, and then we'll get to the managing growth, the part that everybody, you got stuff, right? Just checking. Didn't know. All right. Elite Awards for September for written volume. Mr. Cooper, JP, Renee, Cam Tour, and Gary again. And then Sunny, Full Circle Real Estate popped in. Lap Market, Lap Real Estate Group, the middle. That's a group. Yanni and Claudio. Woo! Partners Market Group, Kelly Fry Team of Gaps, Garbage Doing for groups. And same, but different. Scott Leaf in there for the individual on closed volume. He doesn't actually write deals, he just closes them. Okay. Cam Tour, Young Tom Harvey, JP and Renee, and Connor Prasad. Look at that. They've been in real estate, what? Less than a year.
Less than a year.
Less than a year. They got married too. They didn't tell us, they just got married.
And went on a honeymoon. Away.
And hit the top 5. So good job. You can have it all. If you only apply yourself, you can have it all. All right. Then awards for gross commission, the one that everybody likes. JP, Tom Harvey, Renee Sandu, Chris Payne, sneaking in there. And Cam Tor for individuals. Our top 5 for top 5 teams. The Lap Real Estate Group. She's sitting right there. You can apply. Fulton Real Estate, the Ambrose Real Estate Group, Sunny Bard Associates, Bastion Group, and then for top 5 groups, we have Partners Marketing Group, Private Yuma Real Estate, the McNabbs, Danny and Claudio. I like the sign out by the office, by the way. I drove by. And the Kelly Fry Team. I had to go meet somebody. Somebody actually asked me to go meet them by the Shake and Shingle?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then somebody goes, you know that place has been closed for like 20 years, right? Okay, this is how it happens. I'm being drawn out to the woods in Mission to a closed bar. Yeah. And we moved that to a Starbucks, but anyway, apparently they didn't know it. But I did drive out there. That property is freaking gorgeous. And apparently it's owned by the mill now. That's got a new roof. I want to move in. Anyway. All right. And that had nothing to do with anything. I just wanted to share that story. All right, we had a contest. We had a sell it like it's hot contest. Hot, good music. Oh, there we go. So here's the way it works. So points for new construction, points for firm deals written, points for listing, points for attending training, PDP board classes, referring an agent to me or to Carla, attending an office meeting, 300 contacts in command, or using a smart plan. Forget the Mickey Mouse first, second, and third. Actually, if you came in on the top 5, I have a growler compliments of Craig for you. COVID, man. I opened the drawer and went, look, there's empty growlers in here with gift certificates for foamers. We're going to give them away. So come see me. We'll have a beer together. Big one. It's good.
If the gift cards expire, let me know. I'll get you a new one.
I love people who care about details. It's all good. Yeah. I won this. Great. I can't use it. So our top 5, let's go old school. In number 5 spot, Claudio Sartori. Number 4 spot, Danny Gerbrandt. Number 3 spot, Kelly Fry. Number 2 spot, Jennifer Morgan. And number 1 spot, Christella. Imagine this big check for $5,000. Canadian funds. Minus taxes and fees. No, this is $5,000. All right, congratulations.
Is it really?
It is. $5 grand.
Wow.
It's like, what? There's a contest?
I had to tell you the numbers because I think you take any listings and deals. Wow, thank you.
Finished with 625 points, and the maximum amount of points you could earn were like 50, right? So, and most of that was listings and closed deals. $5 grand.
Wow, so $5 grand.
Are you glad you came? Now you know, right? Now it's like you can't like just
Pick it up.
can't shuffle it off to the super bank. Good. Like it. Fantastic. So how'd you get there?
I listed a lot of properties. Sold a lot of properties.
How many today so far?
That's the easy answer. No, none is the answer. 2 offers.
2 offers today? My favorite conversation with Krista was in the hallway a few months ago. It's like, so I did 7 listings in 7 days.
Yeah.
And then she had to phone back and go, I'm sorry, it was only 5. And this guy going like, slacker. Only 5 listings in 7 days. By the way, we've done the math before. Gary Keller math from Canada. So if you said in the MREA book, if you want to make $1 million in real estate, go on 7 listing appointments a week. In Canada, based on in our market, based on our average sale price, it's 4. Go on 4 listing appointments a week at a 75% conversion ratio and a 75% close ratio, you'll make $1.17 million. Just saying. Now, when Gary Keller said that on a stage at Family Reunion in Dallas, then he asked, how many of you went on 7 listing appointments? And you watch like 25,000 KW people dive for the floor, except for the one guy. There's one guy who's just lying. But anyway, congratulations, Crystal. Winner, chicken dinner. And now, this is going to keep playing. We're going to need that. Yeah, a word from our managing brokers. That's it. Any questions on stats? Any questions on contacts? Context? Whatever. All right, go. You can sit here.
Can I just get a high chair and sit at the?
You got a high chair?
Yeah, a high chair with the front.
Usually I get the high chair.
So I got something to drill on.
Right. I'll give you a chair. Josh, you there?
I sure am. Yes. Hello. So where do we want to begin on this one? First and foremost, for those of you in the room, I'd like to thank Carol. Brian, I don't know if you're in here. Carol, Ken, thank you, and Michael for being on the MLD panel that basically was inspired from our last month's office meeting. And we got a gentle nudge from Ron Edgar saying, Josh, why don't you put the managing brokers together on a panel and actually dig in on MLDs? We did. We got BCREA to come in and audit it and listen in on the conversations that we as realtors have around our understanding and even confusions from disclosures on MLDs. And it was a fantastic panel. Great information shared by Ken, Carol, Michael, and Brian. And we had in the beginning 90. Well, how many, Carla, you're here. How many people were registered in total?
102. 124 registered, we tapped out at 90 in the room, like in the Zoom room.
Right, capped out at 90 in the room, and we, I think we ended at 86. So the retention for a 3-hour course was stellar, really good. But it had a lot to do with the content and the information being shared by these managing brokers. They kept it engaging. For those of you that were in the room,
boring things like lead generation and making money and just talk about patent latent defects all the time.
yeah, I don't think the people in the room on this one had any problem making money. I think there's two. I mean, for sure, boring things like lead gen, but there's two sides of the conversation. There's lead generation, and then there's professionalism, and MLD speaks to a strong desire from agents to want to level up their professionalism and their understanding around things that are inherently important with what we do. Ken, you're here. What would you like to share your thoughts on how that went, and did you have any ahas from it? And Carol, I'll ask you next, and then Michael and Brian. I don't know if you're in here, Brian, but if you are, I'll ask you as well too. We'll go with you first. You may or may not be on mute. All right, Ken, we're going to pause on you. We'll go to Carol. You're still on mute, Ken, so we'll go to Carol first.
Hi. Well, first of all, Josh did a great job putting everything together for all of us and putting this class on. It was great listening to everybody's opinions on it and the interaction and the knowledge that we gained from it. So we're protecting clients and keeping ourselves protected in this. So, and just re-looking at things and situations that can come up that are challenges that are unexpected. So it was, I thought, really well done. And thanks again to Josh for organizing it all.
My pleasure. I'm going to give that credit to Ron. Thank you, though, Carol. I appreciate it. Ken, are you back in? Are you back with us? That's okay. Jane, are you near him? Can you help out with the technical difficulties? You can sign this too, Ken. No,
You have to give him some motivation.
It's okay, no worries. You look very animated, which in my interpretation of that, it was a great event. You were stellar in there, so yeah. You're still on mute for sure, man. Michael.
Hey, Josh, how are you today?
Wonderful, thank you.
Is there a recording of the event last week available for those who did not attend?
It's been posted in the cafe group already.
Is it a well?
Yeah.
So everyone here, okay, awesome. No, it went really well. I was a little concerned, as Josh knew I was, that 3 hours might be a little overdone for the content.
Not about a stirring topic like patent latent defects.
Material defects, yeah, you thought it might be a bit dry. You might run out of material, but it just seemed like we ran out of time.
I was describing it as great content that you can listen to the recording later if you're having a hard time falling asleep. Just play it, and it'll lull you right in.
I mean, for those that attended, I think it kind of, opened their eyes as to a lot of things that are severe pitfalls that maybe you don't realize at times they are. So I think it was really invigorating to kind of enlighten people on things to look for.
It was one of the most well-attended courses we've done. So if there's any other topics you have, and we know there are, that are pertinent, sometimes they come up in our office meeting, and sometimes they just what you're running into on a day-to-day basis. So let us know, because you're not alone, and if you're running into it, so somebody else.
Beautiful. I think Ken is back with us. Are you with us with voice? Dang it. No. Well, is there anyone here? Who has controls of this that can unmute him? Can we unmute him?
No, then we'd also have to have control of his lighting and his security system and things like that.
Well, Ken, nonetheless, thank you. I just, I know I thanked you, but I want to thank you again for your contribution to it. It was a good event. There was a lot of good conversation around it. But moving past that, I don't know what there is new to talk about in the world of managing broker. We are now a little past a month into BCFSA taking control of our industry under one CEO, one regulator. And as of yet, we haven't necessarily felt, well, I wouldn't say we haven't felt a whole lot of change or disruption to our business. There was a case though that was in appeals court that was defeated from an agent that defrauded, unfortunately, their clients. And he was appealing, this particular agent was appealing, and BCFSA said, no bueno, we are going to halt your license for, he's already had his license held for 4 years, although he was still practicing while he was under appeal. BCFSA said, sorry, you know what you did amounted to probably one of the most egregious acts in real estate, predatory almost, and we are going to suspend your license for an additional 5 years. So I would say that BCFSA sent a message very loud and clear that they are going to hand down penalties and support those that were already passed by the previous council. So we haven't seen anything on, say, perhaps a smaller, less egregious nature yet. I'll be curious to see what comes across in that forum, but as of yet, nothing. They're working through their cases. Do you have anything you want to add to that, Michael or Carol? Ken, I would offer you, but poor guy, we can't hear you. So.
Hey, Josh,
Yeah,
sorry, Carol.
Go ahead, Michael.
I guess I'll go first. I was just gonna ask Josh, do you know the high points of that case that went to appeal?
Sorry, what was the question?
I said, do you know the sort of the highlights of that case that went to appeal? What did he do?
Yeah, I do. I mean, the broad strokes on that case is about 4.5 years ago, a realtor took a listing and his client, it was around a $2.1 million listing in Vancouver, West Vancouver, North Vancouver. And he told his client, I can get you a full price offer from another realtor, but only if you agree to pay me an additional $75,000 on top of the commission you're already paying me. I want a $75,000 bonus if you want me to get you full price. He then went to the other agent and he said to this agent, you have to pay full price. And I also want a percentage of the commission that you're going to earn from your buyer on the sale. And I want a percentage of the commission that you're going to earn when you sell your client's house. It was deep and it was predatory, and everybody complied. Eventually the seller complained to council because they felt that something was a little bit weird. This agent ultimately was trying to earn 3 times the amount of their commission. And this, you know, I mean, this is not necessarily hearsay. This isn't the first time that this has happened with this particular agent, but it's the first time this agent got caught. The challenge around this is his family owns a real estate company, his sister practices, they're still very much engaged. So I don't know if the penalty really, I don't know what kind of teeth it has on this particular individual themselves, other than not being able to sell, but I don't know if it really is hampering their ability to be involved in the family real estate business. That's the highlight of it, essentially.
In my experience, in other cases, not only are they suspended from being licensed, but they also can't work as an unlicensed assistant either.
Well, yeah, that was also said for sure. Yeah, they're not allowed to work as an unlicensed assistant. I don't know where that's going to land in the world of gray, but if he does get caught behaving in a manner that that is in contravention of his sentence, I would be curious to see what happens to the family firm. But that remains to be seen. There's another case. I know I've shared this once before. We're a few months out from details being released, but I just want to send a loving reminder to all of us that when you're on Facebook or any type of social media and you hear an agent start a thread from the position of being victimized or had a rough dealing with something, short of being interested in where the thread goes, just do your best to suspend an opinion. Most of the opinion, there's a case in front of the Professional Conduct Committee where they're looking at people's comments and threads, wondering what should we do with this, because people are reacting and commenting, but with very limited information, and the comments that are coming out, border disparaging remarks against our own members, which of course we all know is a contravention of the Realtors Code of CREA, not to mention real estate services and a bunch of other things. So we have to be careful with the comments you post in Facebook. Please just know that everybody's watching, and just we don't know where this is going to go, but that's all. Loving comment around that.
I mean,
Cheryl, were you going to say something? Did we get your comment in?
Yeah, I was just going to say, through one of my classes, we go to the council site and we look at the penalties, and the penalties are getting higher and higher now, according to the past. So, and I've noticed too that they've put it in there that the agents have not asked the clients to seek legal advice. So that's really huge. So if you've got everything in writing and you're asking them to seek legal advice, sending it to the professionals, have everything in writing, keep your books in good order, and it should hopefully keep you out of trouble, because they are looking for things and you never know when something's going to go wrong till it goes wrong.
Until it goes wrong. Yeah, until it does. Yeah, for sure. Other than that, I think that from a professional conduct committee perspective, the one lesson I learned from the 2 cases I was able to sit on is that if for whatever reason, after you've booked a showing on behalf of a buyer and you're not able to make that appointment, you've got to go beyond a reasonable doubt in my mind to demonstrate that you reached out to the listing agent and made sure it was okay that your client showed up. And don't hide. Like if your client showed up and the other realtor says, hey, why weren't you there? You stand up, be accountable, and maybe they showed up and you didn't know. Like that's a story, right? But there are more complaints coming down the pipe from listing agents where they're fed up with other agents booking appointments and then not showing up, under the premise that it's the seller's agent's responsibility to do their duty to the seller. So therefore they must allow my buyer to come in. That's not what's happening. And you're bang on right. Fines are being doubled. On the 2 cases I sat on, when our subcommittees made recommendations on where we felt the fine should be, overall accounts, the professional conduct committee doubled our amounts, our recommendations. So it's being taken very seriously. Our profession, I should say, is being taken very seriously, and fines are being looked at in a way as, obviously, there's 2 aspects to it. It's punitive for the actions being taken by the agent that caused the wrongdoing, but it's also, we're sending messages to the rest of us as members saying, we are upholding our standards, we are enforcing fines, and we're not just giving off little fines that a realtor who makes a large amount of money on a commission won't even notice. We're making fines that are. Also, just one more note. For anybody that's operating in a team, let this be just sort of, again, fair warning. There is strong eyes being looked at on not only when there's an infraction from your team member who makes a mistake and someone complains against your team member, the penalties are certainly showing up for them, but the leader of the team is being double fined. The penalties are being doubled for the leader of the team. So it's a double whammy in that sense. You gotta make sure that if you're going to operate as a team and you're bringing newer agents in, that you're in active charge of these newer agents and you are aware of the type of lead generation methods that they're employing. And if they're crossing the line, you got to bring them back in line. Otherwise, the fine will double for you potentially. Just know that that's something else that is definitely forefront right now. Jane, do you have anything you want to add to that? Are you texting me right now, Jane? Did I just say something I shouldn't have said? Am I in trouble?
No. I'm actually trying to get Ken's microphone to work from a distance. It's kind of hard. No, I mean, it's a simple fact of if you do things right and you follow the rules of cooperation, and there's rules that will trip you up because most people, for example, think that if they get a bully offer, they just have to let people know who have in writing told them they want to be kept informed. But if they get that bully offer during a no-show period, then you have to let everybody know that express any kind of interest in any way, a phone call, a text, a touch base, booked a showing, doesn't matter. If you get a bully offer during the no-show period. So there's a lot of rules, and you know, every time I go to a meeting, I learn a bunch of new rules that I hadn't really paid attention to before. Have that rules of cooperation out and read a couple of rules a day, and get to know what is really expected of us as professionals. And that will save your butt, because yes, Josh is 100% right. Those fines are going up. And the team leaders especially are being made responsible for the actions of their team members, who they think, well, they're in my team, but you know, I don't have to really supervise what they're doing. Well, we do feel you do, because you're the one who's getting all the points and all of the, probably the majority of the commissions, because you're the team leader. And if you're going to lead, you've got to be prepared to be supervising those that are following you, and you need to be setting the best example for those people on your team.
We should create a rule a day tearaway calendar for next year.
Is that like a nativity calendar? Is that the same? No, it's different.
You know,
Yeah.
A show of hands, how many people in this room have actually read the rules of cooperation? Not many. You know, so maybe that's not a bad idea.
Piggybacking on that question, how many realtors have read the Realtors Code, CREA's Code of Ethics?
Another one.
Yeah.
Again, if you're having trouble falling
It's
asleep,
actually nice to see the hands go up. There's quite a few hands going up. That's quite nice to see. Now, you know, just to dovetail on a comment Ron made earlier about great sleeping material, I'm not sure the MLD webinar qualified as that, although it might for some. We could put on a webinar all about rules of cooperation and hammer out all 12 rules inside the rules of cooperation, and we could make that's a sleeper, I think, but it would be an eye opener to say none the least.
you could do that course if you create a jingle and a dance routine around them. That'd be good.
I'm not a good dancer though, or a singer. I'm a great singer. I'm not a good dancer.
He's a great singer. Great singer. You heard it live. This is recorded. Josh Bass, great singer.
You just
Forget
like
you
Carrie.
don't-
She begged me to sing when we worked together. That girl, when she's like, I couldn't handle it. She wanted me to swoon, like swoon singing. I don't even.
He is the
Like,
worst singer I've ever heard in my life. That is all.
She's a tough critic. Just for the record, she's a tough critic. I wouldn't take her advice firsthand. You need to hear it for yourself. Is there anything? Just
So many places we're just feeling.
into the weeds. Ken, are you live? You're waving your phone at. Is that you having a direct conversation with Jane?
Me?
Oh man. All right, Ken. Next time you got to sit in my office when we do this. You got some good stuff. Is there anything going on that you see as an affront to the industry, from the real estate side, that we need to be aware of, short of fines or BCFSA or anything of that nature? Has anyone got any thoughts?
Put it in the chat, Ken.
Yeah, I think for the most part, then I don't have any more to add on the managing broker side of things. Jane does.
Ken has been texting me and I didn't hear my phone. He's telling me to bring up the point that was recently raised in a Facebook post, and there was some really good materials posted by some of the wise people in the BC Realtor group. And what it is, the comment was about buyers' addresses on contracts of purchase and sale. This has been a bee in my bonnet for a long time. And it all comes down to, you have to be able to identify who the parties to a contract are, plain and simple. You need full legal names. You need an address. It cannot be care of a brokerage, because there's been challenges in court, and that is not enough to identify the parties. You should have a phone number and you should have an occupation. I know a lot of us don't put the phone number in and the occupation in because we don't want the other parties being able to contact. But those are the methods that the court, and bottom line is we need to be writing contracts that stand up in court. And if you don't identify the parties, plain and simple, full legal name, because there could be more than one Josh Bath in this world. And their address, generally in our case, it's a residential address, and occupation probably, because there could be more than one Josh Bath that's a realtor. I know there's more than one Ken Ambrose that's a realtor, not in Canada, but still, you need to do it, and it will not stand up in court if there's ever a problem. So that's what Ken wanted me to bring up. Is there anything else, Ken, that you want me to bring up? He's just laughing.
Just skip the dishes orders on the way, so. Awesome.
You guys think you're
Good. So I still think we should do scary tales from the PCC. Now Josh is muted. It's a
Dang, I muted myself. I did a Ken. Sorry. You know what? The one thing that I can say that I feel is coming our way is that this whole transition into BCFSA and the message from the CEO and the message from the different officers within BCFSA that I've listened speak in webinars for BCREA, it feels as though their entire mandate is to lift up professionalism amongst realtors by enforcing codes, standards, and rules. And right now, their number one method, of course, would be education. They would love to just see us more highly educated. They're certainly looking at that. But the other option they have is in discipline. And of course, that is their number one job is to protect the public. The best way to protect the public is to make sure that we as realtors are actually professional and we're educated. And, to the point of the question asked earlier, that we understand our rules of cooperation, that we've read them and we comprehend them, and that we've read the Realtors Code through CREA. We've read them and we comprehend them, and that we're aware of the rules through BCFSA, formerly the council, that we've read them and we comprehend them. And so I believe that their push is to drive us in a direction where, I actually think that within a short period of time, 5 years to 10 years, the very way that we speak to each other as members and the way we look at privacy, conflicts of interest, ethics, I think that the way realtors communicate with each other in the future is going to look a lot different than it does today. And I think it's going to look a lot more lawyer-like. We're going to be a lot more guarded with the sorts of information we share, the way we've shared so cavalierly, and without question, crossing lines. I think that will slowly start to fade out, especially with the newer guard of realtors coming in, and the older aging realtors are starting to phase themselves out. So, but I think that's the direction we're headed, is to move us into a bona fide profession. We've called ourselves that for a long time, yet it's the lowest bar of entry for a profession, for a 6-month education course or a corresponding course. And then we kind of gripe and moan about the PDP requirements for a 2-year period. And no one, people are often either scrambling to get their requirements met at the final hour, but no one's really going beyond those requirements. And I believe that's the direction council or BCFSA is going to go. I also think we're going to start to see more courses being enforced or being imposed on us. Imposed is probably the wrong word, but that we're going to have to take that have no PDP requirement or PDP credits attached to them. They're nothing more than a course you must take in order to enhance your professionalism and keep it at a minimum level. So anyways, that's my general feel when I listen to them talk.
Yeah, if you knew you were getting audited tomorrow, how would you do? Because you're going to get audited. It's just a matter of when, right? So just saying. See, a minute ago, we're helping you get to sleep. Now we're keeping you up at night.
What happens during an audit?
Terror happens during an audit. Just random. Naomi just left. Carla, what happens during an audit?
It's a lot of work. They can pull anywhere from 50 to 75 fields. They go through to ensure that we have all our paperwork in order every so these things like having addresses for the buyers and that kind of stuff, that's where those things get caught.
Yes, our goal is to keep you out of jail. Yay! That's a good thing. All right.
I guess I'll just bring, I see our time, we've kind of pretty much burned it away.
The clock on the wall says.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Second experience this year of one of our agents facilitating the deposit for the buyer with his own money. And I've just come across this again for the second time this year, and that's a big no-no. I think these are early discussions you need to have with your clients as far as deposit monies, where they're coming from. Are they locked in? In this case, they were locked in at TFSA. They couldn't get out in time. But do not facilitate paying the buyer's deposit with your, I mean, this one has the realtor's name right on the draft, right?
Mr. Woodward?
Sorry to interrupt. There is response out there that are specifically designed for that situation. So if a client has all of their equity in their current place and they have no money for the deposit until that sells, of course your dates match up, so there's no money for the deposit. There are options for them. It is expensive, but there are options to put in.
The first case, as I mentioned before earlier in the year, clients were in PG, Prince George, and our agent needed a deposit down here. So rather than calling any of the managing brokers or the one on call or even giving me a call or an email, they could have simply walked into an HSBC in Prince George and put the deposit money directly into our account. But rather than reaching out and asking one of us, he went and got a draft and he went and turned it to our office, which is not a good thing.
Seems like a nice thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, you are not the buyer, right? There's the big one, right? Number two.
So yeah, I just made $4.2 million in gross commission this month. So, you know,
it starts to look like you kind of got your hand in the deal too, right? I mean, starts to raise a lot of red flags out there. And unfortunately, in those cases, I do have an obligation to report those to the DCFSA, right? I don't have a choice. Other issue in the last, I would say in the last week, because I took manager broker calls last week. If you go to the doctor and the doctor comes in, he asks you what's going on, you look at the doctor and you say yes, right? And if you're going to call one of us, I mean, I had a general call last week, and it was just in relation to the fact that the seller was a non-resident. Very generic question. Very quick call, answered the question well. I found out yesterday it was a much bigger issue than simply a question of non-residency or whether or not that was the case. I mean, so if you're going to call us and ask us a question, fill us in on the details. I mean, I shouldn't have to probe you for information to figure out what's going on and what are the issues at hand, right? So don't leave us in the dark. You know, really fill us in as to what's going on. We can't guess, you know, and we shouldn't have to be probing and clawing to try to get the information we need to be able to give you informed advice.
sharing is caring.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like that you've always said before with, I think Josh said it earlier with social media, I don't understand why, and that some of them are our agents, why they're falling into the trap in those threads of giving comments on social media that are of a negative in nature. And you said before, play nice in the sandbox. The other one is, if you're going to go on social media, everything's going to be positive. And if it's not positive, don't comment. You know, don't get caught and trapped into those threads and maybe put yourself in a position where, you know, you may be looking at, you know, maybe a real estate board complaint or something else that's going to happen for something that you said online, and it's never going away.
And even when you make a comment and then take it down, someone screenshotted that. Guaranteed. You just became a Twitter story or a meme. So yeah, it's.
So like I said, always think when you're going to reply on social media that you're only going to reply to things in a positive nature. You can't get in trouble. And that's all I've got for now.
Swearing? Issues with swearing? I'm from Nanaimo. It's like other words just fit in the swear words. It's weird. Anyway, yes, we do need to do some editing on our stuff. That's it. All right, real life. Going once, going twice. Any questions? Comments? Register for business planning clinic with Gene Rivers. It's your homework. We should have 343 people on that, plus me. 344. I can do math. Yay. Krista, you want to share your money? Congratulations again. Pizza for everybody, but no carbs. You're fine. It's all good. Awesome. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Any needs? Any wants? Anybody want needs? Need wants? Yep.
I have a fundraiser for my son's A1.
Fundraiser for A1 hockey team. There we go. Hockey's happening again. Okay. Put it in the cafe. I don't know if we want to start that. My kids are done with the fundraising thing. So we used to have this group of people. I can tell you what, I'll buy yours, you buy mine. Anyway, it's a good system. So any parent can relate. Cool. All right. That's it. What's your homework?
Business planning.
Business planning. Register. Gene Rivers, November 4th. It'd be amazing. Time well spent. Thank you, folks. Have a great day.
Thanks, Josh.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.